Good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. It is off to a nice start. It's comfortable outside. Awesome. We've had a great couple of days in the valley. Been nice and comfortable across the board, which is nice. And we'll keep that going for the next parts of this week. Thankfully, we've got some warm-ups on the way for folks that may feel like it's a little too chilly outside. I don't think it's that bad, but if you're looking for some warmer, more average, almost back to that summer feeling, we'll get there soon enough. However, this time without the humidity, which is great. So looking at the rest of the day, we're going to see some cloud cover every now and again from now into the 2 and 3 o'clock hours before we finally start to see some clearer conditions. More of the same from yesterday, kind of a rinse and repeat, so to speak. A lot of our days ahead are going to be kind of similar in nature. The only thing that changes is going from mid to low 80s all the way up to the 90s. And then by the end of this week, we could be back in the mid 90s. So only major changes to the forecast. Every day so far is going to be gorgeous sunshine, passing cloud here and there, nice, mild, comfortable evenings as well. We'll also see morning lows rise up a bit. Lots of our lows were in the upper 50s this morning. Yeah, I don't think we saw any 40s. I may have to go back and look, but so far rather warm. And we'll continue to see that throughout this week. And like I mentioned, no humidity to note. So Trash Pandas are playing their final couple of games this week. So make sure you get out and really enjoy the last couple of games that they have. I want to say they've got about 5 or 6 games left to my knowledge. But if you are going to tonight's game, first pitch is at 6:35, and then we'll be playing the Chattanooga Lookouts. Yet another city I lived in briefly growing up. But by the time you get out there and get ready to park and all that good stuff, closer to the 5:30, 6 o'clock hour, we'll be in the 80s. It'll be nice, comfortable, lovely afternoon and evening to get started. By the time 8 o'clock rolls around, we'll take a step into those low and 70s. As the sun begins to set as well, we'll start to see those upper 70s by that point, and eventually sliding into the 60s by the time you wrap up your evening. So we'll see some upper 60s, nice deal of a breeze every now and again to note as well. So like I mentioned, a lot of this week is what we like to call boring weather in the weather community. However, it's always nice weather. There's nothing active happening outside of a cloud or gorgeous sunshine. And even with less humidity, we're not concerned about heat advisories and the like. So it's really nice and comfortable. Looking at Madison at the moment, 73 is where they sit. Lots of folks making their way around the city. So it's rather comfortable. Again, as you can look at the sky there, not too many clouds to note. Gorgeous day. We'll keep that going for the rest of this week. And if you're looking ahead to the weekend, we start to get back to those 90s. I want to say we're going to be a little warmer than this is anticipating. I think me and Eric talked about going up to some of the mid 90s. So I want to say these are probably going to be flipped a bit. 92, 93 by Saturday, and then Sunday may be staying on the lower end. So like I mentioned, those lows will start to get back into the mid and upper 60s by that point as well. We do have less humidity. Yeah, I said that right. Less humidity in the air. We're not dealing with dew points, nothing uncomfortable. So when it says 90, it feels like 90. So thankfully we're not dealing with stifling heat. It's more of dry heat, which is great. It makes it bearable to be outside, right? So humidity outlook has us feeling great for the next couple of days. We'll get to some comfy conditions. We may see a little extra moisture in the air by Friday, but not enough to make it feel stifling outside. Drought monitors should update. I think they've pulled all of the data today. It should update on Thursday. And I want to keep you abreast of what's going on. We're dealing with some dry and moderately dry communities, especially, and it's been sticking pretty west of I-65. Now, the folks that are moderately dry got the greatest deal of rain around Friday and Saturday morning. So it'll be interesting to see if that brings them back down to an abnormal state, or if that rain chance did anything to probably wipe some of those areas out of drought monitor readings. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes. So as far as pollen goes, with drier weather, we have some extreme pollen counts moving into the community. By Thursday, Friday, higher chances for ragweed, grasses, anyone with allergies. I'm in that boat as well. It's going to be a rough couple of days. I know folks are getting ready for football games by Thursday and Friday and really enjoying their time outside. Make sure, if you're anything like me, if you're going to be outside for a prolonged time and you know these are your allergens, go ahead and try and prevent that as best as possible. The pollen particles are still pretty high, and we'll continue to see that probably go up to that extreme beyond Friday, since the weather will be quite dry by that point. Don't really have much of anything washing it out to speak either. There's no rain coming for a nice chunk of time. Woo! So we're not going to get any rain chances anytime soon. And I'll show you that in our 10-day forecast, where there's just no mention of rain, really. So for my students, teachers that may be tuning in as well, this is your fresh air forecast. It's going to be gorgeous conditions for the next couple of days to go outside and enjoy recess. I've heard from my teacher sources that they didn't even want to go in from recess. It just felt nice, pleasant. They didn't need fans. They were able to just sit outside. The kids weren't sweating, and yeah, so that's always nice to hear that it's a comfortable day for everyone. Here's your 10-day forecast. And like I mentioned, today's conditions is every day's condition. We'll see some cloud cover on Tuesday and Thursday mostly, but the rest of these days are just clear, gorgeous conditions. Only change in the forecast is that it's getting a little warmer. We'll go from 84 to 94 by Monday. So, thankfully though, like I mentioned, it's dry conditions right now. There's not much moisture in the air, so that's not going to cause anything. It's not going to cause humidity for a lot of folks. You're not going to be dealing with any stickiness in the air, and that'll really make the temperatures feel like what they are. So, for example, Saturday is 91. It'll feel like 91. So, you won't have any feel-like temperatures too far above that. So, it'll be nice, comfortable. Great weekend to go out, enjoy. If you haven't, these past weekends, give or take from Saturday, but most of our weekends have been kind of nice here lately. We do seem to have a stretch of dry weather at the midpoint, this like first or second week of September, so we're kind of average dealing with this dry spell here. So don't think anything crazy is going on. And even when I show you that drought monitor, even though it says abnormally and moderately dry, those are still kind of norms for this time of year. It's just a matter of, we like to keep up with the rain chances that we have seen and how it's affecting the dry conditions across the board. We just like to use that for measuring purposes, just because that's our average at this point of the year. We'll get back to our 90s real soon. So for anyone that's been kind of like, I don't like the fact that I walk out the door and it's 50-something degrees. I want to go back to the 60s, and then I want to warm up to the 90s by the end of the day. Your time to shine. It's coming Thursday. So, it's also a great week to get some yard work done. However, be careful of our folks with allergens. I'm not speaking to anyone in specific. Dad. I do have some really bad grass pollen allergens, so we have to be careful with me when grass is being cut. But we'll deal with a good deal of allergens, but it's also a good week to go ahead, knock out some yard work, knock out that home project you've been thinking about, because it'll be some favorable weather to do so. It's not too hot, not too cold. And like I mentioned, the fact that we have a low dew point for our area, like it's on the lower end, there's not a lot of moisture into our air. It feels like what it's going to feel like. Kind of stifles the chance of you overheating and dealing with, all the things that come with extreme heat and heat advisories that we see. So, rather comfortable. That's all for me. I'll be on at 11 and then noon. Reminder for my TVL folks that like to tune in and watch. TVL is now 30 minutes. Hope you'll tune in and watch though, because it's still a jam-packed 30 minutes. So yeah, I will be on those two shows, and then I will be back here Saturday. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good week. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope if you're going to the Trash Pandas game, I hope they win. They've got their last couple of games at home. Let's make them count. All right. Bye, everyone.